Thank you for joining Soracast today. You know, it's getting near winter, and that means the days are getting shorter, and it's about time to start thinking about El Nino or La Nina happening in the South Pacific. We all know these large events where, in the case of El Nino, the water temperature in the Pacific goes a little bit higher than normal, and its opposite cousin, La Nina, where the temperature comes down a bit in the Pacific Ocean, happen around Christmas time. Popping up in winter as they do, they can literally shape weather patterns around the whole world, including Japan. So let's dive in and see what happens in an El Nino or La Nina pattern. First though, before we go forward, we gotta learn a little bit about ENSO. And no, I don't mean the perfect Zen circle of enlightenment and the universe. I mean the El Nino Southern Oscillation, which is a very, very long way to describe the temperature and atmospheric movements of the Southern Pacific Ocean. Shortened to ENSO, this is where all the magic of an El Nino or La Nina happens. The El Nino Southern Oscillation covers a huge swath of the Southern Pacific Ocean. El Nino or La Nina observations happen in one of four zones. Zones 1 and 2 are not seen on this map, but zones 3 and 4 are, and most of the action happens in zones 3 and 4, and that overlap is called Niño 3.4. So here are the definitions of El Nino and La Nina. So I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea of the mechanics behind these events. Now, let's look ahead and see what we got for either a La Nina or El Nino winter in Japan. As we all know, this summer was brutally hot. The oceans as well had a little heat wave of their own, and ocean temperatures around Japan are still largely warmer than they normally are, especially in the northern Pacific Ocean, with some areas being as much as 4 to 7 degrees Celsius over normal. Over the past month, however, the warmer sea temperatures have been declining some, and together with a cooling trend that has been seen in the eastern Pacific, conditions are now favorable for the development of a weak La Nina later on this month. Several models are in agreement with this assessment for a weak La Nina this winter. As of last week, the Climate Prediction Center, which is part of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the United States, issued a report where they gave a 71% chance of a weak La Nina developing early this month. However, if the La Nina does not develop by around the third week of October, overall chances of a La Nina will begin to fall. Odds of a La Nina developing will fall to approximately the mid-50s area by December. By that point, if a La Nina does not form, then it will not, in all likelihood, happen at all, and Japan will be in an ENSO neutral winter this year. The chances of an El Nino, the warming of the ocean currents, is thought to remain below 10% for the foreseeable future. The JMA has published its seasonal outlook for October, November, and December of this year. An ENSO neutral winter for Japan will mean that we'll have basically normal temperatures and near normal rainfall and snowfall precipitation overall. Without the huge push of an El Nino or La Nina directing our weather patterns, we will rely on smaller and more local weather systems to drive our daily weather events. That means more localized snow events And some of these may be kind of similar to the pop-up thunderstorms that we had back in summer. The extended seasonal forecast looks like this. Projected temperatures through October are going to probably be warmer than normal, but not to an extreme degree. Temperatures will start to come down, approaching seasonal, still just a tad bit warmer than what we're used to. Precipitation for the month of October, meanwhile, will be more or less normal. Moving on to November, temperatures in the northern part of Japan will be probably warmer than normal. However, we will start to see cooling trends and temperatures will start to approach seasonal levels in the central, western, and southern parts of the country. Precipitation for November, in the meantime, will be around normal or possibly a little bit above normal. As we head into December and as we close out 2025, if that weak La Nina does kick in, then we're going to see much cooler temperatures across the country. As things stand with the JMA, the southern and central parts of the nation will be a little lower than normal. However, Tohoku, Sea of Japan, Hokkaido will see temperatures a little bit above what they're used to for this time of the year. Not by much, but it will be a little warmer than normal. Precipitation as well, both in the form of snowfall and rainfall, will be on either side of normal throughout the country. But as always, keep up with Soracast for all the latest weather information, and I hope that you come back and enjoy more weather videos.